country and around the world. Congratulations are pouring in from around the world for President-elect Barack Obama after his historic victory Tuesday night. His diverse background is truly unique for a U.S. president. With a mother from Kansas, a father from Kenya, a stepfather from Indonesia, and a middle name Hussein from the Middle East, Obama has sparked the imagination of people on every continent. In cities across Africa, people hail the United States for electing Obama.
No, I think Obama is a good guy, and I just hope Obama will have influence in Africa, especially to develop us, to help us with the sickness and the AIDS and so on. So especially, at least he's from Kenya, so I just hope there's going to be a lot of influence in Africa to help us and support us and to come out as a new nation. Thank you.
For us, this is a threshold of history. A resurgence of hope for black man. And not just for black man, a triumph of democracy. For us, it's a lesson in this country. We are trying and we are struggling for open and democratic governance. For us to have flawless elections, we are happy we saw the loser congratulating the winner. For us, it's good. But for us, Obama represents a new generation of idea of peace in the world.
It's not only the President of the United States of America. This is a black man in a black skin ruling the world. And take it or leave it, this is going to be the best thing in the history of the Americans.
In the Middle East, reactions to Obama's victory were more cautious. From Iraq to Iran to the occupied territories, people called on Obama to change U.S. foreign policy toward the region.
My message to the U.S. President Barack Obama is to withdraw troops from our country. This is the first thing. We want him to be honest with us because Bush has given many promises, but he did not fulfill any of them. We have suffered a lot from the occupation. Because of the occupation, there were divisions, sectarian conflicts, and now we want them to leave our country.
We hope that he will help find a solution for the Palestinian cause and to end the siege, because we are really suffering. I hope we find a solution for the Palestinian cause and everybody will live in peace.
My message to Barack Obama, is that if you want your country, if you want to have a good relationship with our country, with our politicians, and with our government, you have to radically change your former policies towards Iran.
And in South Asia, in countries like Afghanistan and Pakistan, there was concern over the future of U.S. foreign policy under President Obama. In Afghanistan, where Obama has pledged to escalate the war, President Hamid Karzai called for an end to U.S. airstrikes in the country.
Our demands is a change in the strategy of fighting terrorism. It means fighting against terrorism should not be in Afghanistan rural areas. Fighting against terrorism is not in our country. Our country is a victim of terrorism, and I wish that civilian casualties would be eliminated here. By bombing Afghanistan, the war against terrorism cannot be won. These are the important demands of Afghans. This is our first demand and our basic demand.
Pakistan should not expect much because every U.S. president has his own interest. The example is President Bush and many others who give aid to Pakistan but did not get much work done in return.
Today we host a discussion on Obama's foreign policy, particularly with respect to hotspots in the Middle East and South Asia, Africa, and Latin America. We'll talk about the concerns and hopes of those who live in countries at the receiving end of American foreign policy. We're joined on the phone and through video stream and studios by a number of people. First, Australian investigative journalist, best-selling author, documentary filmmaker John Pilger joins us on the telephone from Britain, just back from the United States. His latest book is called Freedom Next Time, Resisting the Empire, his most recent film, The War on Democracy. And we're joined in our Firehouse studio by Mahmood Mamdani. He is professor of government and anthropology at Columbia University and has written extensively on post-colonial African politics. His most recent book is Good Muslim, Bad Muslim, America, the Cold War, and the Roots of Terror. His latest article for The Nation magazine focuses on recent events in Darfur and is called The New Humanitarian Order. We'll start with John Pilger in Britain. You were just in the United States, in Houston. You're back in London right now. Your response to the election of Barack Hussein Obama as President of the United States?
Well, my response, Amy, is that really anyone was better than Bush and the Bush administration. having experienced election night in the United States and then seen the response here, I feel that it's time that analysis and critical thinking took over, and that those of us who wish to think that way, who wish to think critically, really should start addressing this rather manipulated emotional response. I don't in any way cast doubt on the sincerity of the way people are speaking about the election of Obama around the world, although I think the reaction that you just played from the Middle East is rather more near the realism that is close to truth. But I do think we have to consider President-elect Obama as a man of the system. Michael Moore had it right when he said the other day, let's hope that Obama breaks all his election promises, as politicians generally do, because all his election promises in terms of foreign policy are a continuation of business as usual. And even if there is a return to what used to be called a multilateral world, I think there has to be critical analysis of the return to the pretensions of America as a peacemaker around the world. We had to endure this, and I mean endure it, during the Clinton years, and I don't think that we in the rest of the world ought to have to endure it now through the Obama years, so that we have a continuation, if you like, of liberalism as a divisive, almost war-making ideology being used to destroy liberalism as a reality, because that has gone on under so-called liberal presidents, from Kennedy to Clinton Democratic presidents, and President-elect Obama suggests to us in his promises that he is going to continue that, bombing Pakistan and Afghanistan. Someone said to me, in fact, I was talking to my daughter when I got off the plane from Houston this morning, and she said, what was it like over there? And we were discussing it. And I said, well, it comes down to, I suppose, asking an Afghan child how they feel when their family has been destroyed by a 500-pound bunker-busting bomb dropped by the United States and dropped by President Obama as he continues that war. I think that's the reality that we really have to begin to discuss now, having celebrated, and rightly celebrated, the ascent of the first African-American president of the United States.
And John Pilger, what sign would you look for in these early days now, as Obama begins to move to in its transition period, that would indicate to you that he would be trying to break in one way or other from this neoliberalism of the Clinton years?
Well, it's difficult to know. Breaking from the Bush years is going to be the first, and I suppose breaking from the Bush years means actually talking to people and negotiating. I think breaking from, let's say, the Democratic years, the Bush, yes, the Clinton years will mean giving us a sign that the ideological, rapacious war-making machine that has been built over many years and reinforced as perhaps never before during the 8 years of Bush, that ideological machine does not transcend a loss of electoral power. You see, that's really the central issue here, that